There's a question I ask every single buyer I work with, and about half of them get uncomfortable when I ask it. It's not, what's your price range? It's not even, do you need a lender? It's the very last question I'll cover today. And by the time we get there, you're going to understand exactly why it matters, and honestly, why you should expect it from any agent worth hiring. I'm going to walk you through the 10 questions I ask every buyer before we ever step foot in a house, in order from the ones that feel completely normal to the ones that catch people off guard. And if you're buying a home, this tells you what to expect and why. And if you're an agent, this is your buyer consultation built out and ready to use. Stick around, because by the end of the video, you'll know exactly why the order of these questions came in actually matters just as much as the questions themselves. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I work as a realtor in the Upper Cumberland Plateau area in Tennessee, and this channel is where I break down real estate practical side of buying and selling. No fluff, no jargon, just what actually happens in a real transaction. And today's topic is buyer consultation. That first real conversation an agent has with a buyer before showing start. And a lot of buyers think this is just paperwork. It's not. This conversation is where I figure out how to actually help you, protect your time, and make sure I'm not showing you homes that don't fit your life. I've ranked these 10 questions on purpose. We start easy, the stuff you'd expect from an agent, any website form, any buyer questionnaire. Then we work our way to the questions that are more revealing, more financial, more personal. The ones that tell me things a listing sheet never will. So let's get into it. How many bedrooms and baths do you want? This is where almost every buyer consultation starts, and it should. It's the most expected question in real estate. You'll see it on every home search app, every for sale sign, QR code, every online form. But here's what I'm actually listening for. I'm not writing down 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm listening to how you answer it. Do you say we need 3 bedrooms, or we'd like 3 bedrooms? Need versus want tells me how firm that number really is. And if you've got a kid heading to college in 2 years, maybe that 3rd bedroom becomes an office soon. And that opens up homes that I wouldn't have shown you otherwise. What price range are you considering? Everybody expects this one too. It's practical, it's necessary, and honestly, most buyers have already thought about it before they ever call an agent. What I'm doing here is different from what most people assume, though. I'm not trying to figure out the most house you can afford. I'm trying to figure out the number that you're comfortable at, because those are almost never the same thing. A lender will tell you what you qualify for. I want to know what you'll actually sleep well paying each month. How long have you been looking for a home? This seems simple, but it tells me so much. Someone who's been searching for 3 weeks is in a very different headspace than someone who's been searching for 8 months. If you've been looking for a while, I need to talk to you about why nothing has worked yet. Is it the market? Is it the price point? Is it that the right home hasn't come up? If you're brand new to the search, I know I've got room to educate you in the process without you feeling like you're behind. What's important to you about this area? Now we start shifting. This isn't about beds and baths anymore. It's about why here. And I've had buyers tell me they want to be close to a specific church. I have buyers tell me that they want distance from a specific family member. And I've had people tell me they need to be within earshot of a fire department because of a medical situation. The question opens the door to the real why behind the search. It's the first one where a buyer might pause before answering, because it makes them articulate something that they've felt but never said out loud. Are there any other areas you're interested in? This one seems like a throwaway follow-up, but it's not. It tells me whether you're locked into one specific area for a real reason, whether that be a job, school district, family, or whether you're actually open, and I could be showing you a wider net of options that might get you more house for the same money. A lot of buyers don't realize how much this answer can save them. If you're flexible on location, I can find you the same square footage for less, or more square footage for the same price. just a little further down the road. How soon would you like to move in? This is where timeline starts to matter in a different way than question 3. Question 3 was about the past, how long you've been looking. This one's about the future, when you need to be somewhere. If you've only got 90 days on a lease, it's a real deadline, and it changes how aggressively we have to approach these listings. If you're just starting to think about a move next year, we can be patient and strategic. Neither answer is wrong, but they lead to two completely different game plans. Okay, so if you're keeping track, we've covered 6 questions so far. Beds, baths, price range, how long you've been looking, what matters about the area, any other areas you consider, your move-in timeline, every one of those you probably expected. You've either answered them before on a website or could have guessed an agent would ask. But here's where it changes. The next 4 questions are the ones that actually separate a real consultation from a form you fill out online. These are the questions that get into your finances, your current living situation, and for the last one, a question about loyalty that catches most people off guard. And if you made it this far, do me a favor and hit the like button on this video. It genuinely helps us reach more buyers who need to hear it, and it costs you nothing. All right, let's get into the part that actually matters most. Have you seen any other homes you like, and can you describe them? This is where things get more revealing. When a buyer describes a home they loved, they're not describing square footage. They're describing a feeling. It had a big front porch, or the kitchen just felt open. Tells me more than a spec sheet could. It also tells me something else important. What didn't work? If you toured 5 houses and none of them felt right, I need to know what was wrong with each one, because otherwise I'm going to keep showing you homes with the same problems that you haven't told me about yet. Are you currently working with a lender for pre-approval or pre-qualification? Now we're in the finance territory, and this is where some buyers get a little quieter. Money is personal. Nobody loves talking about it, and even in this context where it's completely normal and expected. But this question isn't about judging your finances. It's about protecting your time. If you're not pre-approved yet, that's not a problem. It just means step 1 is getting you connected with the lender before you start touring. So we're not falling in love with a home that you can't act on. And if you are pre-approved, I want to see the numbers so I know that we're searching in the right range, not just the range that you told me. Do you need to sell an existing home to buy the next one? This is one of the most important financial questions in the entire consultation, and it's also one of the most personal because it means talking about your current home, your equity, your mortgage, your timeline for moving out of a place that you've lived for years. The single answer can completely change a strategy. A contingent buyer needs a different offer structure, different timing conversations with sellers, and sometimes a completely different type of listing. This is the question that tells me whether we're planning one transaction or 2. All right, here it is. The question I promised you at the top of the video. Are you currently committed to any other real estate agent in the area? This one surprises people because it feels almost personal in a different way. Like I'm asking about a relationship, not a house. And in a sense, I am. Buyer agency is a relationship. It's built on trust, time, and effort. And like any relationship, it matters whether that commitment already exists somewhere else. I asked this early in the consultation, not because I'm worried about competition, but because it's the respectful thing to do. If you already had a conversation with another agent, signed paperwork, and built a rapport with someone else, I want to know that up front because it changes how I can ethically and professionally move forward with you. This is also honestly the question that protects the buyers the most. Even though it doesn't feel that way in the moment, it's the difference between a clean, respectful process and a messy one where 2 agents are unknowingly working for the same client. You deserve better than that. So does the agent you work with. We ask it because we respect the profession, and we respect you enough to be upfront about it too. So why build the consultation in this order? Because trust is built in layers. You wouldn't walk into a first conversation with a stranger and immediately ask about their finances or their loyalty to someone else. You start with the easy, expected stuff. the beds, the baths, the price range, and you let the conversation earn its way towards the more personal territory. By the time you get to the lender's existing home and agent commitments, you're not answering a stranger's questions anymore. You're answering someone who already shown that they're listening, already shown that they care about the why behind your search and not just the what. And that's the difference between an agent who's filling out a form and an agent who's actually building a plan around your life. If you're getting ready to buy a home in the Upper Cumberland Plateau area of Tennessee, this is exactly the conversation we'll have together before we ever start stepping foot into a house for a showing. No surprises, no pressure, just a real plan built around the answers to these 10 questions. And if you found this helpful, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment, let me know which question surprised you the most. Was it the agent commitment question or something else? I read every comment and I'll pull the best ones for a future video. And if you're an agent watching this, building your own consultation, I've got more of these breakdowns coming. So make sure you're subscribed for those too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.